Speaker Bennett of Manor Castle.
My lords, if I may, I'll take a moment to praise the powerful speech of the noble Lady Baroness Hellich, with which I entirely concur. As a Green, being lobbied from a wide variety of perspective on the linked amendments 2 and 4 in the name of the noble Lady Baroness Meyer, the obvious place to start was with the evidence, so I asked the House of Lords Library for a survey of peer-reviewed research. And the conclusions of that evidence, the concern that the concept of parental alienation had been dangerously overdeveloped and overused, were clear. There's an entire issue of the Journal of Social Welfare and Family Law dedicated to this subject, and the introduction says, and I quote, "Experts in the field of domestic and family violence have expressed serious concerns regarding the recourse to the concept of parental alienation by family court and child protection services. In the context of domestic and family violence, women may have well-grounded reasons for wanting to limit father-child contact. However, with a parental alienation lens, women's and children's concerns are likely to have been seen as invalid and as manifestation of the mother's hostility and alienating behaviours." End quotes. That quote and my views reflect the concerns expressed by the noble Lady Baroness Brinton, and I associate myself also with her concerns about the current uses in the courts now, and I support her call for the removal of the reference to parental alienation in the draft statutory guidance for this bill. Now, that's not just one journal. That conclusion is also reflected in a range of articles in other journals, including the Family Court Review, Psychology, Public Policy and the Law, and the Journal of Child Sexual Abuse. The fact is that the introduction of the noble Lady Baroness Meyer is an atypical account. The whole basis of the claims of parental alienation are in general highly gendered. It claims that what women are saying can't be trusted and relied upon. The pervasiveness of this was very evident also in the conclusions of the brilliant Cumberledge report into medical devices and practices causing harm to mostly female patients and not listening to their concerns. So that's the evidence, but I also want to go to fundamental principles. I believe in trusting individuals, in believing their capacity to make choices and decisions for themselves. That's a foundation of Green political thought. Inherent in the claims of parental alienation is the assumption that children can be turned against one parent by another, an assumption reflecting the hypodermic syringe theory of communication, that a message delivered will be 100% absorbed, believed, and acted upon. This is a false consciousness argument, a claim that people don't understand their own circumstances and situations. And trusting individuals includes trusting and listening to children. Failure to do that has been a huge issue in many of the recent tragic child sexual abuse scandals. Now, votes at 16 is a long-term Green Party policy, but I regularly speak to schools and community groups much younger than that, who have very clear views and understandings that they've developed by themselves through thought, research, consideration. The exam factory model of schooling to which successive governments have been so attached has not succeeded in destroying this. And so I believe very strongly that children need to be consulted and listened to by the courts and professionals when decisions are being made about their lives. Which brings me finally to acknowledge that we are all shaped by our own lives and experiences and should be open about and declare these. There's no such thing as an unbiased observer in science, social science, or politics. So I do know about this from personal experience. As a child, I was subjected to an attempt from a grandparent to alienate me from other members of my family. And I rejected that, turned against it, understood what was being done to me, and resisted from a very young age. So in today's debate, I will be listening to the peer-reviewed evidence, relying on it, but also reflecting my own life understandings in speaking against the inclusion of the parental alienation in the bill, because the whole approach fails to listen particularly to women and children and is not based on evidence. Thank you, my lords.